Posting this as a video, but I'm going to post this to my story to make sure that someone sees this. I've been hearing we're in the first phase of a revolution. Let's talk about that. I love studying revolution. When I was like 15 to 17, shit, that's what I do. Bolshevik, French, give me a revolution. I probably looked into it. Not as many as I wish I did at the time, because when I looked into revolution, I went deep into it. Let's talk about that for a second. So, I've been kind of talking to people in my own life about the political situation. I haven't had a chance to comment it as much because I'm busy trying not to go homeless. So, if you want to support that, by the way, show up to fucking events. I don't know what to say other than that at this point. So, revolution is first accountability on anything. So, with France, we saw this. They were like, hey, we want a voice. They gave them a voice? Not really, but they gave them a voice. France then said, that's not what we wanted you to do. You're not giving accountability. To which then led France to justifying violence. I hear a lot of people say, let's be peaceful. Here's the thing you have to understand about human mankind. And it sucks. I have told people I have a hatred and a love for humanity, and they're both mutual. This is my hatred for humanity because this is how we function. There's a lot more languages than just linguistics. Let me talk about it. Professionalism. Let's talk about that. When I meet you and I'm there to propose a business idea, propose something like that, I shake your hand and I say, hi, my name's Narcissia Natal, blah, blah, blah. I tell you a little bit about myself. When you meet someone in person, maybe not as direct, but you will probably shake their hand or some sort of gesture. I prefer shaking hands. That is how that works. That's a language. That is you telling them, I speak your language, I know your form. Let's take that into politics, especially since, I'm going to say at least medieval, moving on, because that's mostly my knowledge. There are two types of political languages, I'd say, that dictate everything else. Brutality and civility. So, civility is often when a politician talks to one of us. They talk in really fancy terms. They sound very civil. American politicians do this all the time. Democrats are good at this, but what they'll do is very civil talk, and then they'll do fucking nothing. I hate that I'm registered as a Democrat voter. You guys did nothing. I hate you. Just letting you know. But the other type is brutality. Politicians will typically show this to another politician. Now, in revolution, civilians are done with civility. They are done. This is what that video was that you just saw. They're done being civilly lied to. I'm going to have to make a part 1 and part 2. Fuck. No, I'll just go with it. Fuck it. So, they're done being civilly lied to. That's when civilians step up and they give a threat. In France, that was, if you don't give us a voice, we will revolt. Something a little more complicated than that, but that was the basic gist. Bolsheviks, it was, hey, if you don't give us what we need, peace, land, and bread, there will be blood. To which then, politicians often ignore this. This is when a revolution starts. That is when you get the violence, because you have to understand civility and brutality are different languages. Politicians understand them both just as much as civilians. If I tell you kindly, if I walk, I'm like, please use my name. You say no? Okay. I say it again, please use my name. You say no, what are you going to do about it? I punch you in the face and say my fucking name. That gets the point across. Is it morally right? No, I'm not saying it's morally right. But you have to understand, at this point, we've crossed the bridge where you're not listening to me civilly. Now I have to go there. Now I have to hold you accountable for that. That's the whole point of a lot of legislation, too. It's like, hey, you broke a law. Now I have to punish you. Which there should be more focus on rehabilitation. There's ways around that, but that's besides the point. At this point in American history, we have some of the biggest scandals. We have ICE taking people unlawfully. Don't care how you feel on that. That's how it feels. If you don't want to talk about it with me, okay. But I'm going to talk about it on my page. I don't give a fuck. You have ICE taking people unlawfully. That's not okay. You can't, no. You have people being shot. You have people dying. You have prices rising. And politicians, you have two parties. A party that's saying, if we win, we'll do something. Which historically they don't. Biden showed that. Modern Democrats have shown that. I'm sorry. You do not get $5 out of my fucking wallet because you can't do your job in the first place. You do not get my approval for that. And that's been obvious. Leftists have been saying don't vote, which is kind of dumb, but we'll let that slide for now. But they'll be like, Democrats and Republicans are the same evil. They are. Because that's another thing I'll talk about maybe in a separate video. Democrats make empty promises. Republicans are saying, we love this, make America great again. And they change the language slightly. They say, we're doing this, but, and they change it in a different way that appeals to their conservative base. So, people are fed up. We can't afford to live. Gen Z, us, the actually hardest working generation, look into it. The amount of work I put in, I'm pretty fucking pissed. I am. I'm pretty fucking pissed. And the fact that society doesn't give a fuck on that level, and I can't afford shit, yeah, no, that makes me pretty fucking pissed. When people are pissed, they stop asking, they stop just voting. They're like, you need to do your job. That is what I voted for you to do, you need to fucking do it. Then, when a politician's like, okay, and they might say they'll do it, but if they don't actually do it, that's when the people hold them accountable. And let me tell you something. When the people realize that law doesn't apply to politicians, law no longer applies to them. That is when you get the French Revolution. That is when you get the Bolsheviks. That's when people start pulling out guns and they start going wild. So let me tell you something. Do I support a violent revolution? No. But do I think that violence can be justified? Yes. Violence meets violence just as much as peace meets peace. If they're not going to listen multiple fucking times to the American populace, they have to understand the consequence of what's going to happen. We saw this with Luigi Mannioni. We're seeing this in Minneapolis, which, by the way, stand with my Minneapolis people. I hope I can do more to support it. I really have been down in the dumps. I hope I could do something. But that's why I repost a bunch of shit, too. That's what we're seeing in Minneapolis. When people realize law doesn't apply to the people they elect, and that the people they elect don't care about law, they no longer care about law. Blood comes when there's no other option here. There's no violent Antifa protesters. There's no violent conservatives. Okay, conservatives were lied to and polarized to do what they do now. And they're weakening. They're very much weakening. They're losing grip. What we're going to enter in could be one of the bloodiest phases of American history if the Democrats or any politician fucks it up right now. It's as simple as that. Revolution, I know a lot of people say there's going to be a peaceful revolution, is impossible. Because if you're getting to the point of revolution, the system can no longer exist. There's no reformation, there's only overthrowing the system. And that's where we're at right now. So that video you just saw, that I'm probably going to have to split this up into 3 parts. Yeah, no, that is us holding them accountable. And if they don't do that, I might not personally engage in it because I don't really think I should. I mean, I don't know. I'm not going to say either way on that one. People are going to hold them accountable. It's as simple as that. We can't afford to work. We can't afford to work, actually. That's a great one, too. We can't afford to live. Most of us are really not having rights. They're being stripped back. The silent people are going to be called out too. It's as simple as that. It's accountability. At this point, the government, half of them are waging martial law. This isn't a situation where they win. Nobody wins in this. This will be the bloodiest American conflict if politicians do not listen. So let me tell you something. Democratic voters, let me understand your part in this. You may disagree with violent revolution, but you have to play a part in this too. You don't want to see a violent revolution. You have to ask Democrats to actually do their fucking jobs. I don't think they will, but you can try. You can try. This is no longer just a little, let's release the Epstein files and make sure people are in it. People are pissed. There is no longer any room for, compromise. We are asking them to do something, and if they don't do it, not only will lives be lost from their actions, American populace will not sit still. This is a growing issue. There is no silent people. The silent people know what's going on and they're too afraid to stand up. Lenin's spears of revolution can explain that very simply. There is no maybe we can reform. No. The people have made their demands clear. We want to afford to live. We want work. We want jobs, a better economy. We want ICE abolished. We want Trump and his little cronies detained in jail. We want every single person in the Epstein files to be investigated and detained if found guilty of crimes. There is no more room here. And that's putting it nicely. Some people want that a little more extreme. There's no more putting it nicely. So, Democrats, let me give you a very simple thing here, which people are starting to say. I'm not going to make a threat here. I'm going to state it simply. You stand on the bridge of peace here. There's not an option here of whether lives will be lost. It's an option of how many. Not only on the will of the people, but the will of your job. We've already seen ICE shooting people. We've already seen the deportations, concentration camps. Simple as that. There's no denying that. And if you deny that, you're just as guilty as the people doing it at this point. You can either listen to your voting base, the very smaller and thinner versions you have, and do something, or there will be conflict. We won't know where that conflict will go, but there will be blood on our streets from both sides on this one. The American populace is not going to sit still while you do nothing. It's as simple as that. There is no open threat here. The threat is already in our government, and it's the people reacting. Resist and bite. As simple as that. Your job now is either do your fucking job in the first place, do what your platform is, hold Trump accountable, be the party of progress instead of the party of what's your approval and then we'll do something, or there will be a war in our home. Whether it be civil war, which we are technically in the first phase of a civil war at this point, or, yeah, this is your choice. This is the simple choice. The choice is not if you do, it's what decision are you making to save as many lives and as many conflicts as you can. This is no longer debatable. This is, you are having to do damage control. And the American populace is not going to stand by while you do nothing. It's as simple as that. And to everybody who's saying it's not worth it, let it be known that now you have two options here. If this goes the way that most people are thinking, where they won't do their jobs, or they won't even do what they're supposed to do now, you'll be held accountable too. Hopefully, not as violent, but then again, revolutions are known to get more violent as they go, depending on how many people and polarization and all that. That's an entirely different thing. But you being silent that's not an option anymore. Because let me tell you something. One of the biggest lies I have ever heard is that politics is a matter of opinions. I'm going to tell you, I don't believe that. It doesn't mean that one person's right. It's not a matter of fact. It's a matter of morality. Every decision you make is going to affect a group of people, whether you realize it or not. It is not a question of whether you believe or not. It's a matter of what can I do best for the American people, for my people, for the people I lead, for the people in this district, for the people in this city, and the people in this county. This is not an option of, okay, is this something I believe? No, this is how many people is it going to affect if I vote yes, and how many people is it going to affect if I say no. It is morality. That is the biggest lie we were sold from the 2000s onwards. It is not belief. It is not belief to say that trans people deserve rights. It is not belief to say that trans rights, human rights, black rights, all of these rights that we come up with are just human rights. And at this point, separating and polarizing it has been a weapon by the media. That's not a belief. That's a realization. Saying that the Epstein files was fake, that's not a belief. That's direct denial of victims' claims and sexual abuse. There is no such thing as opinions in politics. There is only a such thing as what can I do and what is the effect of it. As simple as that. Action and consequence. As simple as that. And in case you're confused on where I stand, I am a populist, not right-wing populism. It is a thing I plan on writing about. I stand with the American people, as simple as that. I have my own personal beliefs, but that does not make me right. How I act, I would love to have a public career, but probably not right now. At least not an official one. I would rather spread the word and actually get a revolution started or something started to reform this. But where I stand is nonpartisan. I do not stand with an ideology. I stand very simply with the people. And at this point, anti-ICE is an anti-people or a pro-people policy at this point. That's as simple as it is. I stand with the people. I am a populist because the issues of one is the issues of many. I might not have the bio parts to give birth, but I care about reproductive rights because that is the issues of one is the issues of many. That's what I meant by that line. There is no freedom if one person is in chains and the rest are not. It is as simple as that. And that is the most American thing you could do. I am so fucking sick of people saying, oh, progress. People who believe in progress aren't American. No. Let me tell you something. I am one of the most patriotic motherfuckers you meet. But I don't stand with my country. I don't stand with the government. I fucking hate a lot of those people. I'll tell you who I stand with. I stand with the American people who I meet every day. Who are some of the kindest people. Some of them are assholes. Yeah, I'll admit it. We are an asshole species. That is how it goes. But I stand with the American people. I stand with the Lockport people. Is our community a little shitty? Yeah, it looks a little terrible sometimes. The streets are potholes, but they are some of the most beautiful people I've ever met. I stand with the American populace. My patriotism doesn't go to some fucking form of government that can't take accountability since at least the 1800s onwards, if we want to go further than that. My patriotism stands with the American people. I refuse to wave a flag of a country that its government has decided that we the people is just a suggestion. I stand with the American people. I am a populist. As simple as that. Have a good day.